welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachel
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachel and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm kidding out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that?
Hey!
Hey!
This episode is brought to you by my admin. Well, HD Photo Hub, which is basically like having an admin.
That's right. And it's not just a delivery platform. It's a powerhouse designed to make your work shine. From stunning teaser videos and social media reels to custom property websites and polished printable flyers, HD Photo Hub automates it all so you can focus on what matters, growing your business.
That's right. All right, gang. So we're back from PMRE 2025 and we are unpacking PMRE. There is a lot that comes from going to PMRE. It's my second year. Rachel has been there. How many years, Rachel?
This is my fourth year.
4 years. And just from 2 years, I can tell you, it doesn't always feel the same. This year felt totally different to me than last year did. And it's going to be exciting to talk a little bit about it, but also just, I think a big thing that a lot of people forget is when you go to this thing and you're overwhelmed by all this information, all these cool things, pluses and minuses, what do you do with it all when you get home? Does it just stay in your carry-on bag and never come out, see the light of day again? How do you unpack all that and what do you do with it? And what are kind of some of our takeaways as well that we both got? What we were hoping to get out of going to the PMRE, and then what we actually got out of it. And for me, it was kind of a different experience than I thought it would be.
This year was really good, I thought. Like the speakers, you know what I really liked about it, Neal, and that I think was a little bit different than the last 3 years? I feel like all the speakers had an element of motivational speaking to them.
Yeah.
It was very inspirational this year. And it was a lot of stories about, their journey and how they've gotten to where they are. And for me, like that pumps me up more than anything. Like I can learn your systems and your processes and go home and implement them. But if I'm hearing like these feel good stories about how these people had all these troubles and then they overcame them and made this huge business, like it amps me up. It makes me want to go do it,
Yeah. Makes you want to battle too. And it makes you realize that because I think throughout the year you start to feel sometimes beat down or defeated, or like, is it this hard for everybody else? It is nice to hear the stories that everybody went through the thick of it and they just fought their way through. And okay, all right, we're just seeing right now where they're just like shining in the sun, but man, they've been battling. So that's nice to hear. And I do love the motivation. Yeah. I think that was a big part of the difference between last year and this year. Last year, I left with like more, okay, I'm going to work on the creative in my business. Okay, I'm going to focus on this to make the business better. But it was more like those, logistic and artistic and creative things. Whereas this year was really about, I kind of feel like it flipped on its ear for me. And it was like, I'm going the other way and I'm going, okay, what do I have to do in this business to change my life? Like, right. Not like create a better product, but like make my life better. Mm-hmm. It was sort of motivational in that way. It's like, I literally wrote down a message to one of the presenters after that and said, I felt like you were talking directly to me. Thank you so much for that.
Was that Cheyenne Crawford talking about burnout?
That was Cheyenne Crawford talking about burnout. And I was like, wow, literally at one point when she was talking about family and all this stuff, I mean, I felt like I was tearing up a little bit. I was like, oh God.
No, she's so good at speaking for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. Psst. Sorry to interrupt. If you haven't heard, Rach and I are using Pixel CRM.
Pixel CRM isn't just another boring tool. It's basically your business's best friend. With Pixel CRM, you can automate your lead generation, follow-ups, client communication, and stay top of mind with email campaigns. And there's just so much more.
And if you want, you can try it out today. Just go to pixelcrm.com/STS, and you're going to get the first month of Pixel CRM free.
So I think another thing for me that was a little different, like the last 3 years that I've gone, I've just kind of gone. And I didn't have a lot of things that I felt like I needed to work on in my business. Like there was a few things, but I really didn't go into it with an intention of like seeking out some things that I really need help with. And this year I did that. I had a few things on my plate that I really wanted to just discuss with other people that were a level or 2 or 5 ahead of me and see how they run their business and how they handle their staff and stuff like that. So that started for me when I was on the airplane. I found a podcast, Diary of a CEO.
Such a good podcast.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So it's The Woman Who Makes Millionaires. Only 1% of people do this. The PPF, which is Personal, Professional, and Financial Framework, will 10x your income. Business expert Natalie Dawson, How to Build Wealth and Scale a Business. That's the title of the podcast. It's very
That's
long.
a long title.
Very long.
I fell asleep somewhere.
Natalie is amazing. Like she was so inspirational. So I listened to this podcast. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes. It was almost my entire flight there. Just had AirPods in, just going for it. And I took notes the whole time, which, you know, you listen to podcasts while you're driving and you never have time to take notes or like really absorb what they're saying or like stop and rewind. At least I don't. I'm always doing something else when I'm listening to a podcast. So for me to sit on the plane and just be stuck in one place is like, it's the best time for me to really absorb something or read a book or, you know, because I can't go anywhere. I just have to do it. So it's really great. I took notes, and some of the main things that I got out of this podcast was how to hire good people, which was one of the things that I was wondering. I was very curious about hiring and how to really scale and how to grow and how to have that mindset, because I find that I'm just kind of okay with where I'm at. You know I have the potential to go to the next level, but then on the other hand, I'm like, well, that would be extra work. I'm kind of just comfortable, you know, but then you hear all these people that like her, she's like super motivated and blah. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to kick it into high gear. So it was good. She was talking about, you know, how you can interview people and talk to them about the culture and your core values and do more of like a ride along style interview versus just a Zoom interview. Like bring them out to shoot with you and role play with them and see what their reactions would be. So it was kind of gave me some good ideas for when we're going to be hiring in the spring, which was great.
Cool.
And then another thing that she really brought to the forefront was being present in the moment, which is something I've been working on for years. But she
I
really
remember you talking about this when we were getting to the podcast, getting to the event. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, just come and be present 100% in the room that you're in, which was perfect because I was going to this event. So I'm like, oh, it's great. I can practice it while I'm there. And she's like, don't numb yourself, which I don't drink. So it was perfect. You know, like I'm not numbing myself anymore. I have been drunk at PMRE a few years back. It was so fun. But you don't absorb and feel everything when you're drinking, you know, so it's nice to be sober and have a sober mind and be able to fully be present and be able to fully engage with people and feel like I'm really giving them all my attention when I am talking to them. A lot of times people ask me questions because we're on the podcast and we openly share, but also me asking them questions and trying to get some information out of other people as well. Not only to learn from myself, but just to get to know them better. This podcast really helped me to just have an open mind and just kind of go after it and be really, truly present.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference when you, instead of just kind of like flowing along with the current, that you actually have some intention behind it when you go and talk. You get this, we had this great opportunity to talk to so many different people. And if you just have that one little seed of something you want to get out of it, or, you know, something you'd like to ask them, it's amazing how much more of that you get than just kind of flowing with it. And if it comes up, it comes up, you know. And I felt the same way just about our intention. So I will say it's a little complex for us going to the conference because we're not only focused on going for our businesses, right? Rachel's business and my business. And a lot of people are confused that we do not have the same business, FYI, and we live on opposite sides of the country, FYI.
Right.
So yeah, she has Focus Media Collective and I have the HYN Group. And then we have our own business together, which is the podcast, our social media content, and our courses that we're creating. And so we really had a lot to try and do, not just to go and absorb as much as we can to bring back to our business, but also we have this opportunity to network with a lot of amazing people because we want to have the podcast get better and better. And so we've got all these people to talk to and hopefully see if they might be interested in joining us on the podcast. But then there's an opportunity to talk with people about, you know, what we're offering for the course and stuff like that. So there was a lot to focus on, but the intention, I would say, when we would go, instead of just going to the cocktail hour, to just go and hang out. And what you tend to do is end up mingling with the same 5 to 10 people, right? But the intention was to go, hey, let's try to talk to as many people as we can and see what they're about. Because you never know who's got some really cool story for the podcast, or some unique perspective. And then B, who knows, some of these people might benefit from some of the courses that we were coming up with and stuff. So just going to those like cocktail hours, we said, all right, we did one time make it sort of a challenge, like how many flyers can you hand out for the headshot course?
Okay. And just for the record, the night before, I literally got 4 hours of sleep. I had a Diet Coke at like 9:00 at night on the first night on Monday night at the orientation, which I know better. I should not drink caffeine that late, and I could not sleep. I was up to like 2 in the morning. It was so annoying. And so I finally fell asleep, and then I had to get up at 6 and go to the gym, or 5:30, whatever. So anyways, I got 0 sleep. And so I was so tired. And Neal is like all gung-ho to go network and meet all these people. I'm like, honestly, I just want to go to my room and go to bed. Like, I'm over it. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. Like, when I'm tired, I'm not on my game. I was like out of it. Not. And Neal's like, we're going to play a game. We're going to see who can give out the most flyers. I'm like, well, you're going to win. I don't even want to try. Like, such a bad attitude. But Neal, you made me do it, which was great. We walked around together. We networked together. We met a ton of great people. We probably got like at least 4 guests to be on the podcast from just that little hour's worth of networking that we did. So that was great. We met some really cool people. They've got some really interesting business models and things that they've done, and like how quickly they scaled and the numbers they threw out. I'm like, okay.
It's a little humbling when you hear some of this stuff, and some of these kids are 20 years old, and they're like, you're like, what? You did this already? Wow, dude. So these are some of the people we're going to have on the podcast. So long as their follow through is as good as they said it was going to be, we're going to have some cool people on here. It's exciting. But yeah, and it really opens your eyes too, that there's a lot of different ways. Like we just some unique perspectives on how they handled their culture of their business, or the people they hired, and you're like, okay, it doesn't have to be this one way. And it's great to hear these. I'm excited about hearing more from these people once they come on the podcast too. So I won't spoil all that, but there's exciting stuff there.
Definitely. Yeah. So thanks for making me network. That was really nice. Yeah. But I lost. And I'm not a good loser. I'm very competitive. So
yeah, I know that about you. I know that about you. I'm like, she would definitely do it, but she did not win. She did not win.
Nope.
No. But it was still good though. But you actually you went after it, and you had a lot of good conversations, and got a couple potential guests out of it too. So
yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's good stuff.
Another intention I had, I wanted to figure out how people manage their staff. And what do people have their VAs doing? Because my VA is not busy enough. So I got that answered pretty early on. And then also like how you come up with social media ideas that actually hit. And I got that answered. Then that all happened within the first night of being there. Well, we did the workshop, so I guess the second night of being there, but the first night of the actual conference. So after that, I was like, dang, I got all my questions answered. I think that's great. I mean, I still asked some people so that I could have different opinions, but I felt pretty good going into it after just listening to that podcast and then talking to a couple people. I'm like, this is very effective. And it all just fell right in my lap. It was like so easy.
Go into it with intention. Oh, and I want to say, don't assume. You know, it's funny. Because luckily I had the intention of asking people if they wanted to be on the podcast. A lot of times I just sort of dropped it like as the last thing, kind of like, oh, hey, do you know we have a podcast? And they're like, yeah, we know you have a podcast. I'm like, oh, would you ever want to be on it? And I just kind of thought they'd be like, yeah, like, because there's some big people. They had big friggin' businesses, and they were crazy busy people. They were presenters, that they were, and they were like, yeah, I'd love to. I was like, what? Oh, what? I was ready to walk away. So don't make the assumption, So you can kind of limit your own self just by even guessing. So
you'll never know unless you ask. It was so awkward the way I asked the guy like how he manages his people. I was like, okay, so I'm all like awkward. Sometimes I'm so freaking awkward. I just don't know what to say. I'm like, okay, so
you just blurted out. How do you manage your people?
PMRE with this intention where I'm gonna ask, I want to get something out of this. So I have these things that I wanted to ask, and I thought maybe you could answer it for me instead of just like having a conversation and asking. I have to like make it all weird. He was so nice.
You sound like one of those
Bless your
kids that
heart.
go to work. They go to like a work thing for one day and they have their list of questions. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your business.
Exactly. Like way too formal. Like, Rachel, just calm down. It's okay. People are nice.
That's funny.
Anyways, yes. Mhm.
But you got it done. You got it
I
done.
got it
right?
done. Yes.
That's right,
Okay.
that's right.
So we went there. We listened to some great speakers. We are our next podcast episode. We have a couple guests coming on, and we are going to also unpack PMRE. We're doing a roundtable style, and we're going to discuss the conference. So
Yes.
this is just about what you do when you get home from a conference and how you unpack all the information into your day to day and then work it into your schedule, because you come home with so many ideas. Like, and so many things that you want and have to implement like now. And for me, last year, I think I probably implemented like 2 or 3 things,
Yeah.
not enough. And this year, the list is absolutely insane. My poor assistant, like, Casey, we're going to need a meeting like twice a week for 2 hours to get all this done, because there's a lot. There's a lot.
We're literally like making a group of people that are going to chat together just to keep on top of all the things we feel we need to do.
Yeah. We
Right?
started an accountability group.
Accountability group.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pumped on that.
It's
Awesome.
that much. I don't even have a full list created. That's one of my first things getting back. What I did throughout the conference was I jotted down things because I knew I'd forget. As soon as you get out of there, you think, I'll never forget that. And then 2 days later, you're like, wait, what was so important and critical I had to do? So I just wrote simple lines down of things that I had to remember to focus on. And one of the most important ones for me was identifying every single thing that I still have a hand in. That if I got sick for a week, what's going to happen with those things if I'm not there to do it? And I have to find solutions for those, or people, some kind of software or some other solution or person to handle those things. It's time to get put on my big boy pants. And that's going to be a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you're being honest with yourself, how many of things would, if you left the business alone for 3 weeks in a row, would they all run smoothly? What would happen? And the reality for me is, I already know right off the top of that, I'm still reviewing the videos. I just got an email about the video. I still give the final review. Like, yeah, I give them the thumb, it's approved or it's not approved. Like, I have to get rid of that.
Yeah. That's not
Stuff like that. It's all
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I text my assistant on day 2 and said, take me off the schedule through February. I'm not shooting real estate through February. What did I do when I got home? I had a client call and she was like, hey, I had this really cool listing and I want to do this rendered video. And do you think you can do it? And I'm like, yeah, we can do anything. Let's do it. I'm like, might cost you a little more, but I'm on. So I actually am shooting on Monday. But, I'm bringing a shooter with me. I was like, if I'm going to shoot, I'm going to bring somebody with me and they're going to shadow me. I'm going to teach them everything. Like, my team knows how to shoot, but we're still not 100% all consistent. And we have the new video editor. So our style is changing up a little bit with certain videos. So I definitely want to get them in and just get them fully trained on this new style that we're doing. So I have one of my shooters coming with me. So I think that'll be good. And the agent's getting on camera. So that'll be great. It's a lot of different things. So I'm
No, I
excited
like
for
that.
But
And
yeah.
it's good that you have that thought that you're like, okay, if I'm going to do this one thing, then how am I going to make this more valuable than me being a shooter on the ground?
Yeah. And I need to be hiring more shooters so that I don't have to shoot anymore, because how long have I been talking about not shooting on this stupid podcast? Like 3 years. I'm going to stop shooting. I kind of still like it. I think that's why I keep doing it. There's a piece of me that really loves it. So it is kind of hard to give it up. But
What I wanted to change in my business to be is, yes, I still like it, but I want to solve for all these things that I don't have to do them, so that I can identify what it is I really still want to do in the business.
There you go.
And that it's not required so much, but it's something that I can choose to do. Or I could have somebody else do that as well, but be more of a creative part of it or something like that. But in order to scale it more, but also to have more time for other things that are important to me. Things that are never going to change if slow season comes next spring and I'm still out doing 70% of the shoots, right? Yeah. That's not going to work. I can't progress that way. Just the years are going to keep going, and my progression is not going to be what I want it to be. I want it to be we had a good year. We did better than last year, right? And a fair amount better than last year, but it's still not what I want and what I need. So in order to change that in the spring, I have to change now to make sure that when the spring comes, that I can still block off a lot of my time throughout the week to focus on my own business, but also to make sure that we can keep elevating our courses, elevating our own podcast here and our social media and all that, because I want to put a lot of effort into that stuff. And honestly, a big part of going to this conference, I was more excited about a lot of the growth stuff, starting to be strategic to make it happen so that I can stay consistent so it doesn't get tanked some part throughout the year.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal. I think that's a great thing to look at. Like, ask yourself, if I die tomorrow, would this business go on? I told Casey that too. I said, if I die tomorrow, I need you to be able to run this business. So we need to be making SOPs for literally everything. So hop on Loom. There's an AI integration now. You can do SOPs. It's been there. Pete Stegel was like, I told you about that like 6 months ago. And I was like, well, it went in and went right out. Sorry.
Yeah. That one didn't stay.
Did? My bad. Sorry. I swear I was listening. Gosh. Anyways. So yeah, that's a good one. But okay. So once you get, I took a bunch of notes. I had a notepad with me that I take notes in. I'm just better at writing it down. It sticks more. So I wrote all these notes down, and on the plane ride home, about 2.5 hours for me to get home, but I had an hour delay. So I got to sit on the runway for an hour before the plane took off because there was construction in Seattle. I'm like, oh, lovely. So I went through all my notes and I wrote them, everything that, I kind of summarized everything and then wrote down lists in different buckets. So I had like a CEO bucket, services bucket, systems, clients, owner, like all these things, right? And I wrote down everything that had to do with that bucket. I wrote it down in that list. So then I could set up, like at our team meetings, I'm going to look at my team list, like what's important, what needs to get done, who do I need to set up meetings with, and I took more copious notes on all of these different things as I wrote down these lists. So and then I had a vendor list as well, because there's a bunch of vendors I wanted to connect with and set up meetings with. So it just gave me that. I was absolutely exhausted, like so tired. You get back to your room at like 10:30, 11, and I just want to go to bed and my brain won't shut off. It's like running until 1 a.m. And I didn't bring a stupid phone charger, so I only had my little plug into the wall charger. And that thing was always dead every night. So I'd be stressed out that my phone was going to die and my alarm wouldn't go off. So I had to set the alarm in the room, which I don't know, that's really old school. And I was intimidated by that. Like, this can't be that hard, Rachel. Just set the damn alarm. You'll wake up. I'm like, Neal, come pound on my door if I'm not up by 7, please.
Right.
Anyways, but putting all these things into the buckets and writing it down and organizing it just helped me for when I got home. So then I could look at everything and be like, okay, here we go. But yeah, I got home on Thursday, and then Friday, I pretty much did nothing. I grabbed my daughter and we went to the barn, and I tried to sleep and couldn't. And then Saturday, the same thing, went to the barn and rode. It was my birthday, so I did a whole lot of nothing. And then Sunday, got to sleep in. I felt tired and hungover for almost 4 days. Like, I didn't feel normal until Tuesday.
Yeah.
My voice was gone.
Days.
I know.
I slept a ton.
Oh.
I did have a lot of shoots. So unfortunately, I did come back into still having like a bunch of event type shoots that I had booked. And I'm like, yet another day where I'm not really. And then also at the same time, what's really important right now is it's right now when we're recording, it's like Black Friday and we've got our course that we're trying to launch. So I've had a big focus on that. So as soon as we can get past that, that's when I'll be able to finally go, okay, now I can start focusing on the business. Right now, my focus is still grow and figuring out meta ads and, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot. Thank goodness, I will say too, along the notes, like when you have conversations with people, thank goodness that at night before I went to bed, and I couldn't sleep either, so luckily I was wide awake, I wrote just a few notes, a few lines about the people I talked to. I thought I would never forget, but literally the next day it was like, wait, which was the person that was talking about that about? And so that helped a ton too.
I also scheduled a weekly meeting with my assistant, which we did not have those on the schedule. I got my team meetings set up for the next few weeks. And then I set up, like I said, I scheduled meetings with vendors that I wanted to meet with. There's still a couple that I need to schedule. I had Monday off. I thought I was supposed to have a lifestyle shoot on Monday, but it got moved to December 10th. So I was like, sweet. And then Tuesday, I had a broker presentation and a headshot pop-up event, which was super fun, but a lot coming off of PMRE. It felt like I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. So yeah,
I think
once that was done, it's like that. I get really stressed doing those broker presentations. Speaking in front of people for me is really difficult mentally. Like it stresses me out. So this one went so well. It was so easy. And I'm like, okay, I just need to do them more often and then I will feel better about it. Because doing like one a month is not enough for me to feel comfortable.
That's right. And it's too much time in between where you kind of you feel like you're starting from scratch. Yeah.
Exactly. So anyways.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I would say my advice to my future self would be like, I purposely left Friday not booked or whatever, right? But that wasn't enough because I was exhausted all Friday. I slept. Thank goodness it was blocked because I would have been a mess on a shoot. I was way jet lagged. Yeah. And neither of us were like going out, having a Vegas experience, drinking and stuff. It was just tired from running around, trying to do everything, trying to get content for our course and for our podcast and, all this stuff and do everything for the business and take notes at night. It was just a lot. So I would say for myself though, is that the following week to also block like 2 additional days. That should be your unpacking days to focus on what you absorbed in that and what are your next steps, and then maybe the second day you can start implementing some of those because you also forget if you're going to go to this specific conference right after that you run right into all the holidays. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially because Thanksgiving in America is tomorrow. We're recording this on Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, which is crazy. So well, I mean we don't have a ton of shoots. The shooters are doing all the shoots this week, so it's great. And they did them last week as well. One last thing that I am going to be doing, I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to be putting, after my meeting with my assistant and we go through all the things, we're going to be putting them into ClickUp, the tasks into ClickUp, everything that we want to do. We're going to assign it to each person who's involved with that and write out some notes on it so that things are actually pushing forward and we're implementing the things that we want in the business. So
yeah, and then we got a lot of exciting stuff to talk to you in more in depth about, the actual presentations and some of these vendors that are exciting for the future and just, I think where everything is going. We're going to talk more about that on our next episode where we're going to have the roundtable that Rach talked about. So more to come about the specifics of what we gained from this if you didn't have a chance to go and, or if you just kind of wanted to hear our perspective on it.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Rach, can you imagine if you had to go back to a world pre-HD Photo Hub?
Oh, no way. No, HD Photo Hub literally saved my life during the COVID craze. With online ordering, their invoicing, the photo delivery, the Google integration, and just having everything on one platform, HD Photo Hub really does it all. And I cannot imagine my business without it.
Same. Pre-HD Photo Hub, I feel like I was just spending all my time chasing my own tail. It was horrible. The good news is our listeners get a special deal. If you enter the code STS, you're going to get 10 free full marketing kit deliveries. Remember, enter the code STS.
Well, let me tell my horse story. We are incorporating in a horse story at the end of every episode with our guests, and maybe with us if we have them. I have one because, oh my gosh. Okay. So I flew into Seattle and my plane landed at 11:30 on Thursday night after PMRE, and my husband picked me up, drove me home, and we get there and he's laying on top of the covers, laying in bed like I'm kind of like getting my toiletry bag out so I can brush my teeth and wash my face, whatever. I'm running around the room and he goes, "Smells like poop." And I go, "Oh, it's probably my butt." Like I watched our reels, so there was like a lot of farting going on. I was not farting. It wasn't me, but it's kind of anyways. And he's like, laughs at me and he's like, "Oh, it smells really bad." I'm like, he goes, "Did you fart?" And I go, "No, I didn't. I was totally kidding." I'm like, "No, I didn't." And he's like, "It reeks." And he rolls over and there was cat poop on the bed. Like, so I have a down comforter, right, with a duvet cover. I love my bed. It's so comfortable. So I'm like, oh, great. There's cat poop on it. And then, so he picks that up and takes it off. And then on the sheets, there was like the cat had peed. So there was a huge pee spot that like spread to my pillows. I have like 4 regular pillows on my bed. And then I have these 3 square down, like puffy pillows that go on the back for like kind of against the headboard. And it had soaked into everything. Every single pillow had cat piss on it. the down comforter, the sheets, and I have like a mattress cover. So I'm like, okay, thank goodness we had the mattress cover on there, and I take the mattress cover off and Abel smells the mattress and he's like, the mattress smells like there's pee on the mattress. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I was pissed. And I'm like, all I want to do is sleep. My plane was delayed. I'm exhausted. It's like 12:30 at this point. Like, come on. So we ended up just throwing it all in a bag and sleeping down in the guest room on that little white cabinet behind me. Where is it that way?
Your Murphy. Yep.
A Murphy bed that folds out, and it's awful. So we slept on that. I woke up at 7 a.m. I could not sleep because it was so uncomfortable, and I was so
Well,
mad.
at least you didn't pull that down just to reveal more.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So happy birthday to me. I get to buy a new mattress. So we went mattress shopping.
For your birthday.
And my house sitter, who actually I have 3 cats, a ferret, and chickens. And then the mule is off site. And then the dog was at my husband's house. So yeah, the house sitter would come by every day and let the ferret out. And I asked her to close the bedroom doors when she lets the ferret out so it doesn't go in the room and poop, because she does that. I don't like her under the beds. Anyways, well, she forgot to open the door. And one of the cats got locked in the room for a day, Monday to Tuesday. So that's why it was like, it was so bad. So yeah,
God,
Friday we went mattress shopping.
So gross.
And then I bought a new down. We went to Costco and I went on Amazon. So finally all my bedding stuff is here as of today. But the mattress, we bought a firm mattress and it's horrible. I'm like, Abel, I hate it. I'm such a brat. I'm like, I hate this bed. I go, Devin, come lay on this. She lays on it. She goes, this is awful. This is terrible. I hate this bed. Yeah. I was like,
gosh.
I told you, honey. He's like,
so what do you normally get? There's like, I don't even know what there is for mattresses.
Yeah,
like
I
what?
think
There's
we got,
firm,
like,
medium, and soft or something?
we just got that mattress like 3 years ago when we moved into this house. Like it was like a $3,000 mattress. So we bought the same one. It was like $3,000. I thought it was the same one, but apparently we got a medium, not firm. So we can exchange it. I just need to call and exchange. It's just one of those really annoying things you have to do.
This feather top does not suit me.
I'm such a princess. My gosh. He's like, maybe you'll like it. And it's fine. Like my back doesn't hurt. My dad was like, Rachel, firm beds are better for your back.
Yeah.
I'm like,
too soft
yeah.
is a problem.
Yeah.
We're not going to go back to the same. We all as a family go on a vacation in the summer to a little cottage that we love, but we're not going to go back again because that bed is so soft that we wake up in pain every day. It's the worst. So we're like, we're not going back.
Yeah, I thought maybe I could do like a topper or something, but I'm like, no, I'm just gonna exchange it. Yeah. And I think I might get the electronic thing that like lifts your feet up and your back up, so I could like sleep in a reclined position. If I want.
Yeah.
Or I can watch TV like that.
You're officially 80 years old, is what I just
officially old, and I can't see a thing
You're
anymore.
the old
so I
lady
need
in the ad.
glasses. Yeah, it's like happy birthday, you're old. Great.
It has the glasses tray for you. It like brings it up to you because you won't be able to find it. So it like brings you right next to you and like
Did
makes
they
a
make
noise.
that?
It vibrates. It vibrates for the blind people.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. I need that.
Yeah. I don't know, but if it doesn't exist, it should now. I just invented it.
That's $1 million idea, Neal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got a little bit of a horror story and just a lesson learned in traveling and expenses. So, and also something exciting we're going to talk more about in the next podcast is Rachel and I got to do the luxury listing workshop where we're photographing a luxury listing, and that'll be something coming as well that we'll be talking about with some awesome people. But so what happened was I had already bought my ticket to go the day that the conference started or whatever it was.
Monday. You were going to fly on Monday.
I was going to go Monday. And then we found out we got invited to go to the workshop. So figured, okay, I'll try to go and adjust my flight. And I didn't get the like insurance so you could change your flight or anything like that. So there was nothing. It said, you can't change this flight. Okay, whatever. I guess I'm going to eat the cost and I'm just going to buy another direct flight that went on Sunday. Wasn't a direct flight. Sorry, it was the world's longest flight, 2 stops from New Hampshire to. It was my whole day. But anyway, so it was a different flight. I just figured I'll eat the cost. Whatever. Get this one part flight. So got there, no problem. Everything's great. But when I left and got to the airport, it's funny. I went to go check in early, and it kept saying this flight already occurred. And I'm like, it says the date is today. Why does it keep saying this flight has already occurred? This is making me very nervous. So I get to the front, I get to the kiosk, then I plug it in. I figure out it's just something quirky on the phone. It again says this flight has already occurred. I'm like, how can it already have occurred? It doesn't leave until 10 o'clock tonight. So I go talk to the lady up front, and come to find out, you don't want to do what I did and buy the extra ticket and just leave the other booking alone, because when I didn't take that flight a day later, they saw me as a no-show, like I didn't go to Vegas, so of course I won't be coming back. So they canceled my booking, basically, which I still have to pay for. And another thing on the list, to call and beg somebody to see if they would help me out and refund that, but I'm sure they will not. But I was, and then
luck.
at that point, it's like, well, let's see if we can get you on another flight. It's like, oh my gosh. And I must have been there 45 minutes for them just trying to figure out to get me on a flight to get home. I was just like, at that point, they could have said, it's going to be $1,500. And I'd be like, I don't care. I need to get home. Like,
Get
I'm
me
so
on
tired.
the flight.
I
Literally
just want
the
to be
same
home.
thing happened to me as well. But mine was way quicker than yours. I was like,
Yeah.
just tell me that there's room on that flight, please. I don't care what it costs. Just here, take my card. I'm like,
I
I'm
don't know
going
what
home
was
now.
going on. She was having some problem with the computer. We literally went to 2 different computers. And then it wasn't over at that point. Then I went to walk through security thing, and okay, the worst is behind me. Normally I go through, no problem. They don't ask me anything. I'm great. They first wanted me, and they're like, yeah, we're going to need to check you. You sure you got everything out of your pockets? And I'm like, oh yeah, I got everything out. Oh my God, Neal. I had forgot that I checked my pocket knife in my bag when I went to Vegas, in the my check bag. That was fine. That's totally cool, right? When I got to Vegas, I had my pocket knife, right? And it's not like some, scary David Bowie. David Bowie? Wow, that's not a Bowie knife. David Bowie, he's a singer.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he likes knives. It wasn't a Bowie knife. It was literally like a fold-out knife that's like this big. But I was like, oh my God, I just looked like the world's biggest terrorist. And I was like, yeah, I forgot I have my knife. So basically, if you ever had that happen, you basically hope you don't have an expensive knife because you donate it to them and it's Merry Christmas to them. Or you got to go out of the airport and go mail it to yourself, which, I'm not going to mess with that.
They should have UPS there at the airport, for things like that.
I agree. That would be nice. But anyway, so then not only that, my bag goes the like alternate route over the side. I'm like, oh no, they pull my bag and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to take my laptop out. So take my laptop out. They must have put my bag back and through that thing like 4 different times. And each time took like, I don't know, it seemed like an eternity.
What'd you have in there?
Nothing. I don't know, but I have all these weird electronics and batteries and things, and all this strange, and a cell phone metal holder weird thing that holds a cell phone on a table. Like, I'm sure it just like bizarre, all crammed in there. But I kid you not, I swear it's still, the last time it still went off to the side again, and the guy like took it over and put it down in front of me, and he just kind of looked at me, and I could tell he was just like, I'm sick of checking. Go ahead. Like, I don't think I passed. It was like,
you're not a terrorist.
Whatever. This guy doesn't look bright enough to be a terrorist.
I remember one time we came home from Costa Rica and I had bought baby powder. My son was like, needed it because we were hiking. He was like chafing or something. So I bought a baby powder and I kept it in my bag. I didn't think anything of it. It was like in my backpack.
Oh yeah.
And oh my gosh, it was like, I'm like, can you just throw it away at this point? Like, we are late for our flight. Like, I have to go. Like, no. And I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have even asked that because that makes me look really sus. I was like, I swear it's not drugs. I promise I don't have drugs with me. It's not that.
Everyone gather around and take a sniff. It's fine.
You guys want to smell it? All right.
Awesome.
Well, okay. So if you go to a conference, make sure you take good notes. Make sure you dump them when you get home and then implement a plan of when and how you're going to implement these things. Otherwise, it'll all just be a distant memory very quickly.
Yes.
Yes.
And make sure your cat's not locked in your room, and make sure if you add an extra flight, you call them and make sure they understand you're not going to be on that the later flight. Yeah. There you go.
Yep. All right. Have a great night. Our day.
Soon.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Whichever you prefer.